It's never too early to react to Nick Wrong. Nick Right, Nick Wrong, whatever you want to call him. He gave his way too early tiers for next season. And I had to put this thing on the screen. If not, they're going to take down my video. So let's just react. I'm going to be talking, stopping it throughout, as always, and give my thoughts and opinions to what he says. Let's just get right into it.
Successful as the committee did, guys get poached. I mean, there's a real brain drain when you have another year as the most accurate ranking system. So
it's a brain drain. Listen to him sometimes. I'll stop.
Send those resumes and CVs in. Everyone back on the tiers. That's one of the best things about the offseason additions.
Patriots are back.
Yep. Back on the tiers, briefly. I got too excited.
All right, so I'm going to have to move my face cam then because I forgot he does it over here. So the first back on the tiers, briefly, is the Commanders, Patriots, Panthers, and Raiders. Okay. It's not too crazy.
The Commanders, the Pats, Carolina, and Vegas, I don't see how any of them can stay on that long, but they are back on the tiers briefly.
Well, I'll say it like this, right? You got to think, Commanders are going to get themselves a quarterback with the second overall pick. Patriots, going to be interesting, but they're also probably getting a quarterback or Marvin Harrison Jr. They could also go in free agency and get a quarterback if they really wanted to. Panthers, they got Bryce Young, so they're just going to have to build around him. And the Raiders, they got a better head coach. That's all I can say about that.
All right, so it's what type of plan is there a plan? So, see.
All right, hold up. Before he gets into nonsense, Seahawks. You just got rid of Pete Carroll, but you got yourself a great new head coach from the Ravens defense, who honestly, I think there's a lot of potential there. Titans got themselves a legendary coach in Brian Callahan. Falcons and Giants, I agree.
Seattle and Tennessee just were like, no, we have really good coaches, don't want them. Atlanta's like, we could hire Bill Belichick. Why? The Giants are like, Wink Martindale, who cares? And Daniel Jones is running. Is there a plan? I just want to know, what is it, and is there one?
I'll say when it comes to Bill Belichick, because I think it was the Falcons, I believe, who said this, that they didn't hire Bill Belichick because in order to hire Bill, you have to fire your whole entire coaching staff. You have to fire your OC, fire your DC, fire like 8 or 9 different coaches on your staff because he wants his own system. He wants to bring in his own coaches. He wants to bring in his own personnel. He doesn't want anything that is already there. He wants to have everything perfectly himself. And not only that, I believe it was also the fact that he might only be on a team for 3 seasons. So imagine losing your whole entire coaching personnel, pissing off your players, pissing off your fan base for 3 seasons, and you might not even be that successful, right? So there's just no reason to go out there and get Bill Belichick, even though he's a great coach. Don't get me wrong, I understand he's a great coach, but at the end of the day, you're giving up everything for a small return, potentially small return.
Diehards believe no one else does. Kyler, man, a year removed from the ACL. Oh,
Alright, diehards no one else does. Jets is like, that's the king of that statement right there. Diehards no one else does. The Broncos, yeah, it reminds me of Brandon Perna. Vikings, see, okay. Out of all these teams, I think the best possible future is the Broncos. Especially if they take a quarterback and they get rid of Russell Wilson. But then they're being $40 million in cap hell, so I don't really know how much that's going to help them. The Vikings are going to lose their quarterback, but potentially they take a new quarterback like Bo Nix. Saints. Yeah, I think the Jets, I guess, would have the best case scenario because they got Aaron Rodgers coming back. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he's okay. You build an offensive line around him. You already have the receivers. You clearly have the defense to get the job done. I think the Jets honestly have the best shot possible.
he's coming. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, did you see him hit that hole in one? Wait, no one did. There's no video.
What about the one-handed interception?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe two-way player. Sean Payton, once he's removed from having Russ on his back. Kirk, this is the year for the Vikings. Oh, and the Saints. The cap's fake. Derek Carr's good. Listen, the diehards believe no one else.
Well, I think with the Vikings, I don't think they're going to re-sign Kirk Cousins. I think they're going to try to move on from him, which might be a good move or a bad move. We'll have to wait and see.
Does next, stuck in neutral, they'll be fine. But why would next year be fundamentally different?
The fact that he's actually talking somewhat positive so far about us because we're not on any of these lists is actually amazing. This is called growth. Stuck in neutral. The Browns. The problem with the Browns is the Deshaun Watson contract. And that's going to really stick them in the mud. Because they're going to have to just accept the fact that they're not going to be able to get out of that contract. They're going to be negative 50, negative 45 million next year in the cap. They're going to lose some players. They're going to have to restructure contracts. They're going to have to rebuild in the quickest way possible because they also have players on the team still that could be a Super Bowl team. So that's a problem. Miami Dolphins, I say it all the time, they're only going to go as far as Tua Tagovailoa takes them. There's no way they're going to get any farther than what Tua gives them. And even then, I don't know how far Tua can get you. The Eagles, I don't even know what to say about them, man. Like, they are a Super Bowl team. It's just figuring out the Super Bowl part. The Steelers, Matt Canada's going. You got a new OC in Arthur Smith. You're going to figure out what you need to figure out with that defense, with obviously rebuilding it a tad bit. Kenny Pickett's not your answer. I don't think Kenny Pickett's the answer anymore. I was the guy who said maybe he was the answer. I don't think he's the answer anymore. Mason Rudolph almost took you, well, actually did take you to the playoffs. So I think you're probably looking toward a new quarterback and try to rebuild in that way. In the Buccaneers, you're just hoping and praying for Baker Mayfield to get the job done. I mean, you got to the division round playoffs. That's pretty damn good.
Than this year, where these are all playoff caliber teams. In fact, they all made the postseason, but you don't have real Super Bowl hopes for any of them as presently constituted.
I think the Eagles could be a Super Bowl team. I think the Eagles could get back to the Super Bowl. They just really kicked themselves in the ass last year, and I think that was their biggest problem.
Eagle fans might take issue with that. We can discuss that in a bit. Young, hungry, very dangerous.
Where does he put us? Unless he does not have us on the rankings at all. Because I feel like, I don't want to say we're not young. Because the Packers are young because they have, you know, the youngest receiving core. And the quarterback is young. Everything's young on the Packers. Bears, if they go Caleb Williams and they get rid of Justin Fields, which right now is rumored they're going to trade him to the Steelers. That would be it. Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and Herbo. I don't think Herbo's that young. I don't see how the Chargers are young. And also very dangerous. Have you not watched the Jacksonville Jaguars? I don't think they're dangerous. They're dangerous to themselves, but not anyone else, really. The Chargers, I don't think, are dangerous at all either. Colts, I think they could be low-key dangerous. How are the Bears dangerous? Okay, I really don't understand your let me let him talk.
That applies, in my opinion, to all of these teams. Obviously, they all have young quarterbacks that they strongly believe in. The Bears are about.
Wait, how is Justin Herbert a young quarterback? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not old, but he's not like a young like Jordan Love or Justin Fields. Even Justin Fields now is getting up there in age. Or CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Trevor Lawrence is getting up there in age. Like, I think at some point you can't really say they're young.
Assuming they draft Caleb, they either have good rosters in place or the cap space to do it. Most of them have coaches you believe in. I think those teams are all.
All right, let's see. D'Amico Ryans, I trust him. Dougie P? I don't know if I trust Dougie P anymore. I really don't know about that. The Matt Nagy replacement? Okay. they got rid of their head coach. That's the only positive thing here. And now they have Jim Harbaugh. Maybe that's why they're dangerous, because of Jim Harbaugh. Because apparently Jim Harbaugh can make them dangerous. But you know, fun fact here: when Jim Harbaugh went to Michigan, he wasn't successful. Though that successful in the first year. It took him 3 years to become successful. Just a little side note: it's not always a fact that the first year he's going to be successful. Packers. Man, I feel bad for the Cowboys. Really got their ass kicked.
Going to be in the trendy, maybe not Super Bowl picks, but, you know, to be very dangerous next season. Prove it in the playoffs, also known as the reverse Chiefs. Doesn't matter what you do in the regular season.
Okay, I feel like he's not going to have anything about us in here. Prove it in the playoffs. Bills, Ravens, 49ers. How are the Cowboys proven in the playoffs? Wait, hold up. Prove you're good enough in the playoffs. Okay, never mind. I get it. I agree. What he's saying is these teams have to prove that they are as good as they say they are in the playoffs.
We won't believe in you. Any of these teams can go 15-2, and you know what everyone's going to say? Got to see it in the postseason. Don't really care. Well, you know what? That's true for the Ravens, the Niners, and the Cowboys. For the Bills, they'll probably win their 4th straight September championship. We'll
Unless they play the Bengals.
see. Next, if the defense can step up, I really like these teams. I really like these coaches. I really like Stafford, and Goff in that dome, with that offensive line has proven that he can be good. And I thought, listen, these two teams played in round 1 of the playoffs. That was a coin flip game. The Lions then proved they could have beaten the Niners. They kind of blew it. I think the Rams would have beaten the Niners. So if either one of these defenses can step up, they have a lot of youth there, they could be incredibly dangerous. Sneaky big winners, the Cincinnati Bengals. That 2021 AFC Championship game just looks better and better the more Patrick Mahomes wins. Since no one has beaten him in the playoffs since then, no one has beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs since then, the closest the Chiefs have come to losing in the playoffs since then, you could argue, was the next year's AFC title game against them. This past year, you can just say, Joe Burrow got hurt, throw it out. They're the sneaky big winners of the Chiefs' excellence. And then,
This guy is falling. Because he actually finally admits it. He finally admits it. Yes. Thank you, Nick Wright. Thank you. You are finally, as your name implies, you're now Nick Wright. That's how you are now. Because that is true. That's absolutely true. And you finally realized we are kryptonite to Superman. Kryptonite isn't going anywhere. The only difference is we're about to give more kryptonite to supply to the NFL, and the kryptonite ain't going nowhere.
of course, the 90s Bulls, the 70s Steelers, and the 2000.
We're not hearing him, Chris Collinsworth, his way about the freaking Chiefs, okay? I'm just happy that he actually gave us our credit. That's all I'm happy about. The rest of it, I don't really care about him. The Chiefs. I don't really care about that. But, okay, I mean, I think Young and Dangerous, the Titans, should be on Young and Dangerous. I would replace the Jags with the Titans for Young and Dangerous. Everything else, I don't think he really is not really that bad. Maybe, I don't think the Seahawks, I wouldn't say, is there a plan? I think they have a plan. I think the Seahawks, I would change out the Browns and the Seahawks for stuck in neutral and is there a plan? I'd change out those two teams. The Commanders, you could even say Young and Dangerous if they get a new quarterback. Yeah, because you got to think, he's judging the Bears based on the fact they take Caleb Williams. But the fact is, there could be a simple fact that they don't take Caleb Williams. So, you can't really judge them based on the fact that they're taking Caleb Williams when there's a chance they don't take Caleb Williams. I don't know. Tell me down below, guys, your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.